Everybody wants to know what it's like working with celebrities. The glitz, the glans, the behind the scene drama, and the money. Especially the money. But the truth, most people have no idea what goes into making these type of events happen. In this video, I'm giving you a full breakdown from booking to budgeting, logistics to last minute chaos, and what it's really cost to work with major names. You're about to see real numbers, the real challenges, and the real pressure that comes with putting on events at this level. So if you've ever wondered how much it costs to bring a celeb to your city, or if you're just curious how the sausage gets made, stay tuned. Earlier this year, I curated a event series called Club 2000's. I was trying to take a break from twerking tequila, and I just wanted to do something new. So when this amazing partnership came my way, I couldn't say no. And the work wasn't as hard, so I thought. The work wasn't as hard as the work for twerking tequila. So it was a no-brainer. I said, okay, let's do it. So I did an event series called Club 2000's. Club 2000's was basically my spin at a throwback party, an early 2000s party. But instead of just playing the music, we would feature the artists. So mid-dance, boom, out goes Tweet, out goes Bow Wow, out goes all these cool people. It was a party, and a party with special guests. So it featured 5 dates or 5 artists, I believe. It was Day 26, Tweet, Bow Wow, and B5. We were going to do Jaquan. We confirmed Jaquan, but we'll get into that later. So yeah, it was just, you know, amazing. Like, it's my first time doing parties with celebrities. So like, I've done plenty of parties. I've produced a handful of shows. I've managed a handful of shows that were celebrity studded, celebrity visited, but this was my shit. Okay, pretty sure if you're interested in getting into a business like this, you want to know how these numbers work. And today I'm gonna show you how these numbers work. Okay, I'm gonna show you how much it costs from the artist to running the venue, doing the promotions, and all of that good stuff. Now, I'm not gonna tell y'all specifics and who sheet was what, but I am going to show you one of my P&L sheets for Club 2000's. I'm not going to tell you the artists. I'm not going to tell you none of that, but we going just so you can get a full perspective of like how much this stuff really costs. I'm gonna just tell y'all the nitty gritty, and I'm gonna help y'all learn from my mistakes. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of y'all are like, the first question is, how did I get these artists? How did I secure celebrities? So my outreach was very easy. I general manage a nightclub. I general manage a concert venue. Okay, nightclub, concert venue, all of the above. So I have a professional email address with the club. So basically I just scouted. So most of the artists that I work with were not with agencies. So I scouted these artists by just going to the link in their bio. Most celebrities, not all, but a handful of celebrities that have a decent age on them have their management contact in their bio. Or if you click like over, you hover over to the arrow on Instagram and you scroll down, it'll show you like reach out to my booking, or you can just click that and it'll take you directly to an email link. So I use those emails. I use those emails for every artist that was on the roster for Club 2000's, except for B5. B5 reached out to me. But we reached out to a handful of artists, and as y'all know, the confirmed, or you may not know, the confirmed artists were Day 26, B5, Bow Wow, and Tweet, and Jaquan. I just reached out to the link in their bio. So basically I told them, like, I'm reaching out on behalf of L Club. This is I told them what the capacity of the room was so that they can get a perspective of like how much money they can make. And we went from there. If they responded, amazing. If they didn't, oh well. Some artists have a number in their bio and you can call them, but most of the artists who we talked to their management via email, and they just gave us a number. And you want to negotiate that number that is compatible with your room. So if I am a 300 cap room, I'm not going to agree to a $30,000 offer, because that's just not realistic in my room. The most I can charge in a room that has a capacity of 300 people is about 30 to 40 bucks per ticket. Now, the bigger the venue, the more you can charge. So if we would have scaled up to a Fillmore, if we would have scaled up to the Fox, we could have easily went from doing a $30 ticket to a $50, $60, $70 ticket easily. But we're a small room, it's all standing space, so you have to keep that in consideration when you're doing your offers. If an artist is wanting 20,000, 30,000, hell, 15,000 in our room, it's really not gonna work. So what was already a challenge is that the artists that we reached out to already had like a decent roster, a decent history of music, so they weren't cheap. I think the cheapest of my artists were $7,000, but most of my offers were between $7,000 and $15,000, and I believe that was doable in the room, but it would take a lot of promotion, and it would take a lot of legwork just to get like the word out there. So after all of the negotiations, we scheduled one Club 2000s per month. So that would give me enough time in my mind, it would give me at least 30 days in between to promote the next act. Club 2000 began in 2025, and we started the promotion for Club 2000 at the end of December, which in hindsight was not enough time, but we did it. We announced the full lineup, I announced the full lineup in December. It featured every artist that I confirmed. And how did I confirm? After I negotiated those numbers with their management, I sent the deposit. The deposit was anywhere from 10% to 50% of the full booking rate. So you send that via wire. I wired the accounts for the artists to confirm those dates, and then from there, from most of the artists, I got like video drops because I wanted to be able to convince people that these people were showing up to the party. So that's how that went. Outreach was fairly easy for me. Anybody who I reached out to, I got a response or a call back from. So I guess I did a pretty good job figuring out who was right for a Club 2000s. Next up is marketing. Because we had a lot of budget assigned for the main acts, I did not want to go too crazy for the marketing, unfortunately. I spent a decent amount of money getting photo, video, graphics, and some design for Club 2000s. Like, I reached out to a friend, he took my pictures at the club. We used those for promotional aspects. I'll show you a couple of them. They were really cute, really fun. And then I had another friend draft up some graphics to convey to the masses that Club 2000 was cool and all that good stuff. They had to make basically like a logo or a font for Club 2000, and then we had to make some flyers. Outside of that, I didn't pay too much hard dollars to Club 2000s, which was just, I did pay for street marketing, so like somebody physically handing out flyers, putting them on the cars, finding crowds, finding stores to put them in. I did have someone speak about Club 2000s on the radio. I reached out to a news outlet here in Detroit, and I got them to feature it in their publication. And I also made sure that each artist promoted the Club 2000 concept that they were coming to Detroit on their own personal socials. I think I could have done more, but that was the best I had. And I was under the pressure of time. I had to promote this event. I had to curate this event. I had to shoot the concept, shoot the visuals for this event. And I still had to work a full-time job at the club and be a mom and lose weight and all this. So the whole time I'm just feeling, yeah. So it was a little hard. Marketing was very, very hard for me. And like, I'm good at marketing, but because I have my hands tied in so many things, I just don't have the bandwidth to market the same kind of way. We might have talked about this a little bit, but I'm pretty sure y'all want to know the cost. I kind of told y'all that most artists, for the most part, the range of artists at L Club, we worked between a budget of their offers being between $7,000 and $15,000. $15,000 being the highest. In hindsight, I wish I could have went a little lower, but hip hop artists don't want anything lower than $9,000. So doing the best with what I got. We only have a certain amount of capacity, so when you have a certain amount of capacity, that determines what kind of money you're going to make at a party. So if I have a room with a capacity of 500 and I'm charging 40 a ticket, whatever that number is, that's your full potential. So you got to think a portion of that is going to the artist, some of that money is going to go to marketing, and the other is going to operating the business. Let's pull up a visual. I'm about to pull up an actual sheet for one of my P&Ls for Club 2000's. Hold on. So this artist cost was $7,000 all in. Well, not all in. All in basically means like that's including their travel, their lodging, and their ground transportation. That was a additional separate cost. So this artist's booking rate for their time at L Club was $7,000. We sold 233 tickets. 233 tickets garnered me grossed me $4,505.00. I forgot to put the rebates in here. I could have probably. I'm gonna go back and look and see what the rebates were, but there were some rebates. I'm sure I just forgot to put them in here. And my bar that night made $2,860.67. Expenses in terms of the artist costs were as follows. The hotel for and management was $519.14. Their ground transportation was $750, and 2 flights were $2,977. So what hit me over the head with this was really my my travel expenses. Some other additional costs associated with the venue were $960 for security, $200 for lighting, $200 for my sound tech. We paid an additional $242 for marketing. I had a friend do food for the hospitality. My box office person that night, the person that was scanning the tickets and doing the sales, was $90, and it cost me at the end of the night $160 to get the club cleaned up. So we made a negative amount of $5,731 this night and 97 cents. I did not make money. So if I would have profited money, I would have gotten a percentage of sales from this show, but I didn't, because people just didn't come out. Or I sold tickets, but not enough tickets. And I think that for Club 2000 specifically, we're gonna get into a recap in 5 seconds. But yeah, we didn't make any money. We made some money, but it had to get spent. So looking back, or why it wasn't successful, I'm not gonna say that Club 2000 wasn't successful. I just think it was successful in its own way. Like, I was able to, for the first time ever, do a celebrity studded event, celebrity visited, celebrity hosted event. That was, something I always wanted to do, and I finally did it. Cool. That is very amazing to do and brag worthy to do. The issue, I believe, was timing. I believe that we had to, once we agreed to do Club 2000's, we had to hurry up and promote it. And for an event that was so expensive, we needed more time. So I needed to have probably taken 30 days, or not 30 days, 90 days in between each event to promote that event. it was like every month it's a new artist, every month it's a new artist. And like that's not enough time for the ticket price for me to convey to people to buy tickets to my show, in my opinion. This is all stuff that I just learned through trial and error of promoting events and figuring it out. But I just think I needed more time to convey to people to buy tickets. I think I should have used 90 days in between each show. So I basically should have only had one Club 2000 per quarter instead of every month for 4 months. So it was successful. I got people to come out. People got to basically touch, feel, smell the artist. Every artist that was involved with Club 2000's, once they were done with their set, they walked in the crowd. Bow Wow got out and hung out with the crowd. Bow Wow was only supposed to be at the club for like 10 minutes. He did an hour worth of music, and music that he didn't do at his show at LCA. He did songs from when he was a little Bow Wow, you know what I'm saying? He just did a lot of cool shit. He was passing out shots to people in the club. Oh, excuse me. He was passing out shots to people in the club. Tweet was doing unreleased music. Tweet walked around the club, hugged people, kissed the babies, took pictures, signed autographs. B5 even after was walking around the whole club. And for the B5 show specifically, it was women from London, Tokyo, like not even from Detroit at the B5 show. Like I was just like amazed at that, like crazy. For day 26, that was like one of their first shows. That was their first show that year, and then they went on to do a national tour, and all the stuff about Diddy and stuff ended up coming out after that. And I don't know, I just feel like I helped reunite them, you know. And I just think overall, like I think that was the beauty, and that's what I wanted out of Club 2000's. But what wasn't properly conveyed to people who wanted to buy tickets was like that this was just a party. People really just expected a show. And I think that moving forward for Club 2000, if it were to happen again, like I would just make it a show. Like there would be some partying aspects to it, but let it just be a show, a set, and we call it a day. Like people weren't there to party. So be it. And for whatever reason, like I think through past events, I've done like a Beyonce night, I've done a Megan Thee Stallion night, I've done, you know, some artist nights, and a lot of people thought that like I was just honoring the people's music, and they didn't know that those artists were actually showing up to Club 2000's. So I don't know where I went wrong there, because I had each artist do like a drop, like, yo, it's day 26, we're coming, we pulling up to L Club with Low. I had all the artists do that, and I don't know why it didn't convey. I don't know why people just thought we was playing a night full of day 26 music. I don't know why they thought we was playing a night full of Bow Wow music. I don't know, but it is what it is. And yeah, and I think the last question you might be asking me is, would I do it again? Absolutely, I would do it again. I would do it again because now I've had the trial and errors out of the way. Like I've got out the Kings. This was my first year booking and marketing artists for a show. So I would do it again, and I would have more knowledge, and I would definitely give myself more time. Like just because you're a celebrity is not enough to sell you the tickets, especially hip hop shows. Hip hop shows, specifically hip hop and R&B, are hard sales. Nobody's gonna say that out loud. I will tell you out loud. They are very hard sales. People, the demographic is not buying tickets until that week, that day, and that is so hard to gauge, because most venues, when you're not selling that week, when you're not selling leading up to a show, they're gonna cancel it. But hip hop shows, you kind of linger, you kind of wait, because you don't know, or that's just the trend in the show. And that's why a lot of times with hip hop shows you get last minute cancellations, because they're really trying to hold out and see how you're going to sell last minute. So now that I have the knowledge, I will definitely do it again. I'm just not gonna do it back to back every 30 days. So yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know if y'all got any more questions, any follow-up to this. I'm happy to tell you about my business. I know I love telling you about my business. But outside of that, thank you for making it to the end of this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later.